Welcome back to the deep dive here on DRS Zone. Okay, let's get straight into it. We are fully strapped in and diving headfirst into one of the most, well, unexpected psychological dramas that's really redefined the F1 championship fight lately.
Yeah.
If you thought this was just about the car, think again. This final push, it's looking like a battle of minds.
It absolutely is. Today, we're really digging deep into these huge performance shifts, among the contenders. Our sources are painting this picture of, well, it's almost poetic, isn't it? Lando Norris's incredible turnaround, and at the same time, this perplexing decline from his teammate, Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, quite the contrast.
So our mission really is to sift through the evidence, look at how this transformation happened, and figure out if we're genuinely seeing a Norris 2.0. And crucially, what that all means for the big showdown with Max Verstappen.
Okay, let's ground this in the numbers first because they really spell out the drama, don't they? Right now, Lando leads 390 points. Piastri's still in the mix, 366. And Verstappen, he's trailing on 341.
And the key thing is the points left. Only 83 points still up for grabs, and that includes one sprint race.
Exactly. So Norris has, what, a 49-point cushion over Max? That feels pretty significant. But he's only 24 points ahead of Piastri, his own teammate. So the title fight is definitely alive. But yeah, the whole emotional narrative, the vibe around it, completely flipped.
It's fascinating how fast that perception shifted. I mean, just listen to the conversation out there. Nobody's really talking about it as Norris versus Piastri for the title anymore, are they? It's almost entirely shifted to Norris versus Verstappen.
Which is crazy when you think about it.
Right. Lando's speed, his consistency recently. It's like the analysis has almost sort of discarded Piastri from that ultimate championship fight already.
And that in itself, just that shift in conversation, that's a massive psychological win for Norris, surely. They're in the same car, the exact same machinery, yet Lando's elevated himself. Now he's being measured only against Max, not the guy in the other McLaren. That's the Norris 2.0 right there.
It really is. Sources are describing this Lando as a solid pilot. Just solid. Someone who's cut out those small, costly mistakes we used to see sometimes. He's putting together maximum points, race after race, under intense pressure, and he seems to have found this new level of nerve control. We've even seen hints, haven't we, that there are maybe some subtle technical things behind it, too, like focusing more on brake stability in the sim, things like that. It's technical precision meeting mental strength.
And this is where it gets really interesting. You have to compare this guy now with the Lando Norris of, well, not that long ago. Think back to Brazil last year. That felt like a real low point.
Oh, absolutely. The ghost of Brazil.
We saw Lando really beating himself up, questioning if he even deserved to be in F1. That race weekend.
Yeah.
It was maybe his worst performance.
Yeah.
Frantically asking about Max in the rain. Just seemed overwhelmed.
That anxiety, yeah, it was palpable. A real moment of self-doubt broadcast to everyone. But then, fast forward 1 year, same circuit, Interlagos, the track that seemed like his personal black beast.
Yeah, he'd never really cracked it.
And what does he do? He delivers an absolute knock-on-the-table performance, just dominant. Sprint pole, sprint win, race pole, race win, the full house.
Incredible.
That's more than just winning a race. That's conquering something huge internally. He didn't just beat the competition. He beat the circuit, beat the memories, beat that doubt. He destroyed that psychological barrier Brazil represented.
And you see the evidence of this mental shift in those small, really human details that came out. He admitted, didn't he, that just thinking about the title pressure was giving him actual vertigo, like dizziness.
Yeah, imagine that pressure.
And to cope, he actually had his team remove the reference lap time from his steering wheel display during quali, basically driving blind against the clock just to stop his own brain from tripping him up with nerves. That's actively rewiring yourself, isn't it?
That dedication, that focus on fixing the mental side, it's exactly what makes Piastri's struggles recently look so stark. It's created this complete inversion, this opposite trajectory within the same team.
Yeah, Piastri's performance has really dropped off. 3 P5s in a row.
Exactly. In a car that's dominating the constructors, P5 feels, well, it feels like he's driving a different car, almost. Like something's fundamentally missing compared to Lando.
Is there a point where it started, a timeline for this break?
The data seems to point towards a shift after Monza. He looked really strong up to then, didn't he? A potential champion. But maybe that crash, the first lap tangle in Azerbaijan, That seems to be when things really started to go sideways for him. He just seemed to lose that effortless speed he had earlier in the year. That's when the Norris inversion really took hold.
And looking at the mistakes, they seem self-inflicted, right? We need to steer clear of any sort of boycott theories or mechanical excuses.
Oh, absolutely. These aren't car problems. These are driving errors. You look at the Austin sprint, that first lap mistake, the penalty in the last race for, what was it, misjudging the restart.
Yeah, under the safety car.
And maybe the biggest one, that overly aggressive move on Antonelli, that cost him a probable P2, maybe even a podium. He had the pace that day, but the judgment, it went up there.
It also feels like maybe an adaptation issue linked to this part of the season.
Yeah.
Sources suggest Piastri perhaps struggles a bit more on these later tracks, especially low grip ones, tricky conditions.
Yeah, there's maybe something in that. The need for really delicate tire management and cooler conditions. His best in Brazil before this year was only P8, wasn't it? It seems like he hasn't quite found that extra gear, that ability to adapt his style in the way Norris clearly has recently.
Right. Okay, quick pause here. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to DRS Zone. Great to have you with us. And hey, don't forget to hit subscribe for more deep dive F1 content like this. We often share extra data points over there too. But let's get back to this McLaren dynamic, this psychological roller coaster.
So we've kind of established Piastri's decline. There was this really vivid analogy used in one source. It described his season like opening a bottle of really fizzy sparkling wine.
Okay.
All the fizz, all the excitement, it just rushes out right at the start, first part of the season. But then the rest of the bottle, it's just flat, lifeless.
I see. So Piastri's gone flat.
Exactly. The term used was desventado-like, degassed. All the initial sparkle is gone. He peaked too early, couldn't sustain the pressure.
Which brings us squarely back to Norris. And the ultimate test now, Norris versus Max. Lando can't be the quiet pursuer anymore, can he? He's the favorite now. The numbers say so. And that completely shifts the pressure onto his shoulders.
Totally. Now it's psychological warfare time with Verstappen. And we all know Max is, well, he's a predator on track. Ruthless when a title is on the line.
So can Lando close it out? That's the big question.
Yeah, there's a great sports analogy here too. Think tennis. Grand Slam final. Norris, with his recent run and points lead, he's basically earned the break point. Like winning the fourth set, you've got the advantage going into the decider.
Okay, I like that.
Max's next serve, effectively, is Qatar. If Norris wins in Qatar, takes that race, sources are suggesting the championship is pretty much his, mathematically and psychologically, but he has to convert that break point. He has to hold serve now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But let's push on that a bit. What is it specifically that Max brings psychologically? What's the final hurdle for Norris? It has to be that direct wheel-to-wheel fight, doesn't it?
Exactly. Despite all this amazing progress Lando's made, that's the one lingering doubt, the final test. Will we see the champion's fang, that killer instinct, that moment where he says, this corner is mine, this win is mine, risk be damned, the kind of move that just breaks a rival mentally?
Or does he become the calculator?
That's the alternative, isn't it? Does he play it safe? Prioritize the points haul? Maybe settle for P2, bank the 18 points, avoid a high-risk battle with Max just to secure the finish?
Which sounds sensible, but maybe leaves the door open.
That's the risk. Sources suggest that if he just focuses on the points math, he gives Max an opening to apply that relentless pressure, showing that Champion's Fang isn't just about points, it's about psychological dominance, it's about proving you won't back down.
And the context here is just, it's huge. McLaren's car is dominant. They're running away with the constructors. The consensus seems pretty clear. The champion has to come from McLaren this year.
Absolutely. If Max somehow snatches this title, it won't be because Red Bull outdeveloped McLaren. It'll mean McLaren, or their drivers, funneled it, lost it through errors or inconsistency.
Whereas if Lando wins...
And fully deserved, right? Because he's overcome these massive internal hurdles, these mental blocks, across a really long, tough season, it would be a just victory. But how he wins these last few races, that's what will shape his legacy, I think. He's conquered himself, which is arguably the hardest fight for any athlete. The title is definitely his to lose now.
It is. But yeah, the nature of that win. Does he land the final punch against Max? Does he show that killer instinct when it truly matters, head-to-head? You kind of need that, don't you, to be seen as the undisputed best.
The final showdown awaits. It's going to be fascinating.
Which leads us perfectly to our final thought, something for you to really chew on. If Lando Norris does win the title this year, but he does it without really having that defining, dominant, wheel-to-wheel victory over Max Verstappen, if he wins as the calculator, playing the points game, will we always carry that little bit of doubt That what if. Will we question his ultimate greatness, even though he'd absolutely be a deserved, hard-fought champion?
That's the debate, isn't it? His legacy is being written right now in these final races.
It really is. Okay, that's all we have time for on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time for more analysis right here on DRS Zone. Make sure you subscribe and follow wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss a thing. See you soon.